Right now, on to the point. The race for Sacramento mayor gets even closer.
It is really heated up. It is so close.
The new totals just in. Plus, ABC 10 taking Governor Newsom to court, trying to obtain records of secret meetings between his staff and PG&E. A local measles scare, why hundreds might have been exposed. And we're in Hollywood.
Check it out, 700 feet of carpet, 50,000 square feet.
Counting down to Oscar Sunday.
Thank you for joining us tonight. This is To The Point, and I'm Alex Bell. As more ballots are counted, the race for Sacramento mayor, it's getting closer and closer. The latest count came in just a couple hours ago. So take a look at this. All four frontrunners for the mayor are within 1% of each other. Just under 20% of the vote has been counted. Our Rebecca Habegger is in studio with more on the numbers tonight.
Yeah, Alex, this is an exciting race that I've said before, and I'm still saying it is anybody's race. Now, remember, the top two vote getters go on to the November election. The first wave of results had epidemiologist Dr. Flo Kofer in fourth place, but as you can see, she is now in second, bumping the other two down, former Sacramento City Council member Steve Hansen and Assemblymember Kevin McCarty. Now, former state senator Dr. Richard Pan remains in first place, but these four are separated by just 705 votes right now, and we're still waiting on the results of more than 30,000 ballots.
It is really heated up. It is so close.
Speaking with ABC 10 Friday, current Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg, who did not seek a third term, said he is closely watching to see which top two candidates emerge to compete in the November election to replace him.
I even said this before the election. I wouldn't be surprised with any combination.
The Sacramento County Elections Office is still in the process of counting mail-in ballots that arrived after election night. As long as they were postmarked by Election Day, they're valid. The updated vote count released Friday brought voter turnout numbers in this race to nearly 20%, but experts predict we'll ultimately see voter turnout around 33%, give or take several percentage points. That means we're still waiting on at least 30,000 more ballots to be counted, if not 35,000 or more. When you're looking at a race where first and fourth place are separated by just 705 votes, it's still anybody's race.
Now it's going to be really interesting to see who emerges from the top two, because if it's the two business candidates, Steve Hansen and Richard Pan, the question they have to ask in the general election is how are they going to appeal to the more progressive side represented by 40+% of the vote? If it comes out the other way, if it's the two progressive candidates, they're going to have to ask how do they appeal to the business community? And of course, if it's one from each, then it lines up maybe as a clear election about direction.
The Sacramento County will release its next update on Tuesday before 4 p.m. It will release updates every Tuesday and Friday until the vote is required to be certified, and that is by April 4th.
All right, Becca, thank you so much. In the race for City Council District 4, this one might be an upset. Phil Pluckybaum is now leading incumbent Katie Valenzuela with 56% of the vote, but this race has not been called yet. Phil says he wanted to run for City Council, but it was redistricting that put him up against Valenzuela. We caught up with him this morning.
Obviously very happy to see we're ahead, but there's still a lot of votes that remain to be counted, and I think it's important that we respect the process and give everyone time to process all this.
Katie Valenzuela's office declined our interview request for today. And a lot of ballots are still being counted across our region. To look up a race in your area, make sure you head to abc10.com/elections. Tonight, ABC 10 can announce it's won a lawsuit against Governor Gavin Newsom seeking to obtain public records of secret meetings between Newsom staff and PG&E. A Sacramento judge ruled the governor must hand over calendar entries. It raises big questions about how transparent government needs to be and whether we can hold our officials accountable. I want to go ahead and bring in investigative reporter Brandon Ritteman, who's been pushing to get all of these records. And you are still looking for facts about a story that you actually brought us last spring, right?
Yeah, we do know that Governor Newsom's cabinet secretary, Ann Patterson, had at least one meeting with PG&E in May of last year. Today, we know there were multiple meetings with PG&E that month. We don't know if it was 2 meetings, 50 meetings, but we do know the meetings happened around the same time. PG&E got out of trouble after being accused of severe safety violations that caused the deaths of 4 people.
We started wondering how often the governor's staff meets with PG&E after seeing this.
We are pleased to be joined by Ann Patterson.
Governor Gavin Newsom's cabinet secretary showed up boosting PG&E at a shareholder event. For 20 minutes, Secretary Ann Patterson took friendly questions from PG&E executive Carla Peterman. Peterman used to regulate PG&E. She was a California PUC commissioner.
PG&E has become an incredibly important partner for us, and we have partnered incredibly successfully. Overall, just a good partner.
This meeting came only days after the current PUC commissioners voted to let PG&E off without admitting wrongdoing for this, the Zog fire, sparked by a PG&E power line left on during a windstorm. The fire killed 4 people.
No one came after my family with guns and weapons, but there was negligence involved.
Zach McLeod lost his wife and their 8-year-old girl, Fayla. They tried to escape in this pickup truck. About a week after that meeting with the governor's staff, a judge dismissed felony charges against PG&E for manslaughter. And when we asked to see records showing how many other meetings Secretary Patterson had with PG&E about this time, the governor's office refused to show us the records.
Concealing documents, withholding documents, should very much be the exception rather than the rule.
And it says so right in the state constitution.
Exactly.
David Loy is the top lawyer with the nonpartisan First Amendment Coalition.
The public has a compelling right to know the full story here, not just the official story. And that's why this ruling is so important.
In court this week, the governor's lawyer argued that calendar entries should never have to be released to the public.
These meetings were intended to be confidential.
What the governor is asserting in the court's opinion. I don't agree with that.
Judge Shelley Ann Chang blasted the governor's office for making naive arguments, writing, "There is significant public interest in whether Ms. Patterson met with representatives from PG&E during this time period."
The public has a compelling interest in knowing who has the ear of the governor or the governor's staff. The governor does not have an absolute right to keep those meetings secret. This information belongs to the people. This is our information. These are our records. They're not the private property of the governor.
Unfortunately, Governor Newsom is now in the exact same camp as Dick Cheney.
Steve Zansberg is ABC 10's attorney in the lawsuit.
Dick Cheney, who, when he was vice president, engaged in a whole number of meetings with representatives of the oil and gas industry, and he fought tooth and nail to keep the public from knowing.
Now, those records of Dick Cheney's meetings eventually did come out, and multiple attorneys are telling us in our case they believe these records of meetings with Governor Newsom's office and PG&E will come out eventually, but they could be delayed further if the governor's office decides to appeal.
Do we know if they are going to appeal yet?
Yeah, we don't know. The governor's office has 2 months to decide that. We did ask, though, why the governor believes it's appropriate to hold secret meetings with PG&E. Newsom spokesperson Alex Stack replied, "That's an inaccurate and misleading description of the work that takes place in our office," but it isn't inaccurate, Alex. Governor Newsom is, in fact, arguing to the court to keep these meetings secret. Stack also told ABC we have no involvement in the Zog fire cases at the PUC and in criminal court.
And as you've covered before, the relationship with PG&E runs very deep. If you go to firepowermoney.com, you'll find Brandon's past investigations on the governor's campaign donations from PG&E and how Governor Newsom hired PG&E's longtime law firm to write new state laws that benefit the company. And we also want to mention that in the coming weeks, Brandon will be back to explain why it's becoming increasingly difficult in California to obtain public records, because ABC 10 is collaborating with other newsrooms across California to raise awareness. So we look forward to seeing you back here really soon. Brandon, thank you so much for the work.
Thank you, Alex.
All right. Next, on to the point. Oil spotted off the coast. The source of it still unclear. Plus, new details about a local measles scare. Hundreds of people could have been exposed.
Clear skies now with sunshine, but an approaching system moving to the Pacific Northwest. The timing and when we can see rain and snow back into our forecast.
And later in the show, we hit the back roads where giant ancient symbols are carved into the ground of a California desert. Welcome back. New video tonight off the Huntington Beach coast. Crews are trying to prevent this 2.5-mile oil slick from spreading. It's unclear what the oil is from. And back in 2021, an oil spill shut down beaches in this area Officials say they are now better prepared to handle similar situations. But I want to go ahead and bring in Carly because here back home, we are expecting an absolutely beautiful weekend.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's really excited for.
I think we're all ready for it. And even if you wanted some snow for the Sierra, maybe you want to go skiing and snowboarding, you're getting that too. A winter storm watch is in effect for Sunday through Tuesday, 11 a.m. for as much as 10 to 18 inches of new snow. For the weekend, if you're in the valley, you're going to enjoy some sunshine, mild temperatures, some on and off cloud coverage moving in, and then chances for rain Sunday night. But the winds will start picking up for the Sierra. Around 45+ mile per hour wind gusts may be expected. So if you're heading up the hill for the weekend, expect some breezy conditions on those lifts. Mild, partly sunny, and then shower chances, I say mostly late Sunday night. And that is because we have one chance Saturday, and that is going to be around lunchtime to maybe see a quick little drizzle, and then it's gone. But most of it, as of this point in time, remains north of Sacramento, I should say. A winter storm watch to take effect again Sunday night. Now, the high pressure system in place is keeping us sunny and dry, and we are looking at that low to the north that's dragging in an associated cold front that could be sweeping across our area. As we start moving into your Saturday, we will see some clear skies, but then increasing cloud coverage moves in right around lunchtime. As we get to about 11:30 a.m., this is pretty much the extent of those scattered showers that we're looking at. Most north of Yuba City, a couple near Santa Rosa and Fairfield, but they're so light. Even if something falls, it'll be a light drizzle, and then it sweeps right across with partly sunny skies overnight. Sunday, mostly sunny for the morning hours. Then we get this. That's the next storm system expected to run through our area Sunday night into Monday morning with some Sierra snowfall. And then we get a little break throughout most of your Monday. By Monday night to Tuesday, though, that's when we can see our next push for some showers moving through the area, bringing us some rain as well as snowfall. Snowfall totals, again, 10 to 12 inches, up to 15 to maybe 18 at the peaks. And then talking here about some of those rain totals, about a quarter to maybe a half inch. We're looking at our 10-day forecast, low 60s and 70s next week.
All right, Carly, thank you. Next, on to the point, a measles scare in Sacramento and El Dorado counties. Hundreds could have been exposed. And why is your PG&E bill possibly going up again? Welcome back. New details tonight in a lawsuit involving the Folsom Police Department. A former officer is suing, alleging years of racial discrimination.
Now, 3 other officers filed a request to join that lawsuit. 2 of them are former officers. 1 is currently employed by the Folsom Police Department. Former Officer James Doris filed the original lawsuit back in November. Among the claims, he says he endured slurs and comments involving Asian stereotypes, some from his predominant supervisor. He also says a senior officer made sexual advances on him when she was off duty. Doris was fired in 2022, the department says, for misconduct. The city of Folsom told ABC 10 in part the claims of discrimination contained in Mr. Doris's complaint are false. Asking to join his lawsuit are former officer Homer Limon, who is Latino. He says he and other officers of color endured comments related to their race and ethnicity. He also claims he experienced retaliation and harassment after reporting misconduct and was called a rat and a snitch. Another former officer, Laura Knudsen, says that she was ridiculed for her Canadian accent. She says she reported the harassment but never heard back from HR. She witnessed other minorities endure harassment and discrimination as well, and says that's why she retired early. Kim Lim Watson is a current Folsom police officer and says she is the only Asian female in the department. She says she's endured offensive comments and harassment, and adds a sergeant who was unsatisfied with her performance at the shooting range dragged her by her legs. She reported it to HR, who told her the report was unfounded. In a statement to ABC 10, the city of Folsom said the men and women of the Folsom Police Department treat each other with dignity and respect and have a long and proud history of serving our community with honor, dedication, and integrity. The city and the Folsom Police Department value the diverse backgrounds and inclusivity of all of our employees. We do not tolerate any form of discrimination and take such allegations seriously. To read more details of this lawsuit, you can head to abc10.com.
And tonight, Sacramento County and El Dorado County officials are warning of a measles scare. Hundreds of people might have been exposed. El Dorado County health officials say a child with a confirmed case of measles was seen at the UC Davis Medical Center Emergency Department on Tuesday, March 5th after being evaluated at San Joaquin Urgent Care. Sacramento County Public Health says the child was in the ER between noon and 5 p.m. Now, we are told surrounding counties are contacting patients who might have been exposed. Health officials say vaccination is the best protection against measles infection. All right, and your price points, new job numbers are exceeding expectations. Despite high interest rates, employers across the U.S. added 275,000 jobs last month. But while jobs were added, the unemployment rate inched up by about 0.2 of a point. It's now at 3.9%. And if you are a PG&E customer, get ready to pay even more for your bill. After hours of public comment yesterday, the CPUC unanimously approved a rate hike that PG&E says will amount to about $3 to $4 for the average electric customer. The change takes effect next month, and it comes after a rate increase just went into effect in January. And every Friday, our John Bartel takes us on the back roads. Tonight, John heads to the site of some giant ancient symbols carved into the ground of the California desert.
Hey, 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 Yahandua. Hey, 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 Yahandua. Hey, 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 hey.
According to the Chemehuevi people, this sun-beaten stretch of desert near the California-Arizona border is the birthplace of man.
This is the creation story of the Azteca Mexica. So this is the most sacred site there is.
Etched in the rock-laden soil are massive ancient drawings, a story which is best seen from the sky or the peak of Big Maria Mountains.
Pointing in a certain direction for a reason, but this is Ometeo. There's the creator.
These are the Blythe intaglios, or petroglyphs, and for most of their lives, Chemehuevi tribesman Alfredo Figueroa and his son Jesse Figueroa have been studying and protecting them.
There's 300 geoglyphs, according to the BLM archaeologists, from Needles, California in the north, down to Yuma, Arizona in the south.
Of all the petroglyphs in this area, the Blythe intaglios are the largest. In total, 6 can be seen from the sky. Some are 170 feet long, or half the size of a football field.
When was this rock turned around? Over 10,000 years.
Alfredo says it was the ancient Aztecs who scraped away the darker colored rock on the surface to reveal the lighter color rock on the bottom. And those ancient Aztecs traced the images on the ground from what they saw in the sky.
The origin of these images are all in the cosmos.
According to Alfredo, constellations in the sky reflect the petroglyphs on the ground, and many of the images have links to cosmology and Greek mythology.
This guy's Orion, but here he's called Ometecutli.
Archaeologists and historians disagree about who made the petroglyphs, but Alfredo has spent years researching and writing books on the Blythe intaglio's origins. He says he's even used his research in the court of law to help keep solar panel companies from developing on sacred land.
And we tried to protect them, and we won 3. We defeated 3 solar panels already.
Currently, these 6 petroglyphs at the Blythe intaglios are protected by the Bureau of Land Management. And Alfredo and Jesse say this is a good thing. Now, everyone can experience the feeling of this sacred place.
When you drive into the valley, because this is a place where life started right here, so, and when you come out here, you feel even more.
From the Blythe intaglio petroglyphs in the Big Maria Mountain Wilderness, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
And you already know what to do. If you have something in your town that would be a great road trip destination, make sure you let John know all about it. You can text your idea to 916-321-3310. Still ahead, the countdown to the Oscars right here on ABC 10. Welcome back. The Oscars air right here on ABC 10 this Sunday, and our Mark S. Allen is already on the red carpet, and he has a new show airing on Sunday too called Take a Look.
Well, hello from the Academy Awards. Well, technically the countdown till. Camera guy Julian and I are living here on this carpet 24 hours a day until the award show takes place. That, of course, is going to be Sunday at 4, and right before it at 1 o'clock, it's my show, Take a Look, where I want you to take a look at my chats with Greta Gerwig, Margot Robbie, and a lot of other great people. In the meantime, let's talk about that award show. In the past, a lot of surprises. We had a slap one time. We had the wrong movie get announced as the winner when in fact it wasn't La La Land. So I talked to Jimmy Kimmel. How do you prepare for a live show and surprises and stuff? Take a look.
You can't predict the unpredictable. I've found that. In fact, it's the very definition of the word. But you have to have experience. Really, that's the only thing you could do. And to be honest, sometimes I hope things go wrong.
All right, thanks, Mark. And Mark S. Allen's new show, Take a Look, airs right here on Sunday at 1 p.m., followed by a special Bartell's Back Road Goes to the Movies at 1:30. We'll be live at the Oscars red carpet starting at 2:30. The Oscars telecast starts at 4 p.m. this year. Have a great night, and I will see you later. Have a great weekend. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.